All right, welcome to the K-Jazz Movie Show. We are having a great time so far. This, Jonathan Decker, is our #1 FanX fan. So tell us, what is the difference between Comic-Con and FanX, Jono?
Well,
Help me out.
As you can see, there's a lot of similarities. You got people dressed up, you got people having a good time, hobnobbing with celebrities, but some of the differences, believe it or not, you wouldn't know by looking at it, this is actually a smaller event. It's marketed as a more intimate event. You have more of a chance to get up close and personal with your favorite celebrities, to interact with people that you share fandoms with. But in a lot of ways, well, it's also a brand. Comic-Con, there's a lot of Comic-Cons down there. FanX is something they've created here, and they're taking around the world, we found out today. Taking it to Asia.
Well,
started here in Utah, FanX.
That is
cool.
awesome. Now, FanX starts out with a press conference. You went. How did it go? Who'd you see?
Well, first of all, I saw Dan Farr, who is head of Comic-Con, the Comic-Con experience, and he came out and told us what we could expect from FanX. They brought out these kids from Make-A-Wish, who were going to meet some celebrities this weekend, and they're going to get entrance into the convention and do all sorts of fun things. As far as who I met, the dude who's voiced Donald Duck for the past 30 years is actually a Salt Lake native, and it was pretty awesome. He did some fun stuff. So tell us your name, sir.
Tony Anselmo.
Hello, Tony. And Tony is from right here in our own backyard, Salt Lake City. He is the voice of our very own Donald Duck. How long have you been doing Donald Duck?
30 fun-filled years.
Wow, that is so cool.
Thank you.
So much of what my kids love of Donald is your work. That's amazing. How did you get into that?
I was the apprentice to the original voice of Donald Duck, Clarence Nash, who did it from 1933 to 1985. Took about a 3-year apprenticeship, and then when he passed away, then I have done it for the last 30 years. I was a traditional animator, so I was an animator on Beauty and the Beast and Lion King and Little Mermaid, stuff like that.
What would you say that you bring that's fresh to Donald? I mean, obviously, you're not taking away from his work at all, but you put your own stamp on it. What would you say to that?
It really is not about putting my own stamp on it. It's about carrying on the tradition and doing it exactly the way Walt set it up.
Honoring the legacy.
Exactly. Honoring the legacy is very important to me because Clarence handed it to me to do just that. So even when I go to recording sessions now, I will listen to Clarence doing Donald on the way there to make sure I've got the pitch right, so that I don't get out of the zone.
How cool is that?
And also, Mitch Pileggi, who's from Stargate Atlantis and also from the X-Files, was there, and he told me what his most uncomfortable day on set was.
Well, it's for me the most uncomfortable was when I went playing Skinner, when I had the nanotechnology stuff in me, you know, that Krychek was controlling, and they had to do all that you know, special effects makeup on me with the bladders and all that, and it was really it was torture.
Did it dry on there?
Well, I mean, it was like they kept it moisturized and all that, but it was really uncomfortable and not fun. Prosthetics has never been a big. I've never been a big. I actually did an episode of Alien Nation years ago where I played one of the aliens with the big thing.
Oh man, I remember that show. Yeah.
And it was like I mean they put the bulbous head on, and it was a really hot day. A long day, and at the end of the day, I could do this, and I could hear water sloshing in the
from your own sweat.
From my own sweat, and when they took it off, when they took the appliance off, water just gushed down. It was like my sweat. I was like, oh god, this is disgusting. I'm disgusting.
But you know, today they only have like the first wave of celebrities. We're gonna see Kate Beckinsale up in here. We're gonna see Jeremy Renner.
I'm wearing my Kate Beckinsale boots.
Ooh, very nice.
From Underworld.
Very nice.
Thanks.
They suit you well. Well,
so we're going to see Kate Beckinsale.
We're going to see Kate Beckinsale. We're going to see George Takei from Star Trek. We're going to see all sorts of people here. So it's going to be pretty amazing.
All right. Now, me and Jono and Steve and Josh were all over the place. Let's take a look at the gold mine we found here at FanX.
You saw him as a child, I saw him as a child, but let me tell you, he's back and he's bold. He's been juicing, he's been drinking the protein shakes, and he's been CrossFitting all over the place. Man, you're looking good. Keep it tight, baby. Keep it tight. Oh my gosh, you guys, Harrison Ford is in Salt Lake City. Now, I've heard he's a notoriously difficult interview, but I'm gonna see if I can warm him up. Come on. Harrison, how is Salt Lake City treating you? So Indiana Jones 5, what can you tell us about that? Man, I have heard he's tough, but he's like stiff as a board. So here we have a match made not quite in heaven. The Prince of Dark, well, not the Prince of Darkness. We have the Black Rider, one of the Black Riders from Lord of the Rings. And does Batman know?
Nope.
Batman apparently wasn't dark enough. She needs it a little bit more. Sire! Baggins! Sire! All right, we are here with Miss U.S. Ambassador, and tell us, what do you do exactly?
I give a lot of service. This is a service-based program. I was Miss Idaho last year, and because of the advocacy that I did, I was nominated as Miss U.S. Ambassador this year.
Oh, very cool. What type of service do you do? Just all sorts, or?
All sorts of service. I love this particular group. They work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Firefighters and Friends for Kids, and both of those are just incredibly important programs. So.
Very cool. How does that tie into FanX?
How does it affect? Well, I don't think a lot of people realize this, but this is a very family-friendly event. I mean, if you look around, we've got little kids all the way up to grandparents, and it just really brings the community together. It also gives us an opportunity to recognize the everyday heroes. Each of us has that seed of glory in us, and it just kind of lets us bring it out once in a while.
What would it look like if a Jedi and Michael Jackson were merged into... So I'm going to do one, and I want you to top it.
Okay, cool.
Okay?